Hey guys, today we're gonna make a delicious custard pie. The difference with this custard pie is I'm using a lot of healthy ingredients, wonderful warming spices, and we're gonna add the addition of golden raisins. You guys know I love to use these from my previous dessert recipes. I especially love to mix them with apples, but here's a way to make them really shine, and they're gonna be the base for the custard.
Stay tuned.
I'm gonna teach you how to make your own short crust pastry dough with cocoa powder. The first step of this recipe is to make the chocolate pastry dough.
We have all-purpose flour, powdered sugar, cocoa powder for some chocolate flavor, a little bit of salt, and 3 whole eggs. To give you guys a little bit of context, there are different types of doughs, especially for pastry. So a short crust dough is more crumbly like a cookie. So the proportions of fat, meaning butter, to flour or dry ingredients is going to be more flour to butter. So when you have a pie crust, the ratio is actually closer to an even proportion. Flour is going in, powdered sugar is going in, cocoa powder is going in, and if you guys want to know any more information on the ingredients or seasonings that I'm using, especially in this recipe, click those WebMD links in my description. Touch of salt, it's gonna bring out the chocolate flavor. We're just gonna stir that up first. Okay, all the butter is going in, and you want this butter to be chilled. Break it up. Gonna get my paddle attachment, put that on, and we're gonna break up the butter. Want to check on it. It's about halfway there, you can see right now. And of course, you guys don't have a mixer, you can always mix this by hand, but it smells so good. I can smell the chocolate flavor coming through. And now this is a perfect pie crust recipe that you can use for a cheesecake. It's wonderful for that. It's very sturdy, has a nice cookie crumble biscuit-like texture to it. Just gonna break it up with my hands. We're looking for pebble-like bits of butter in there. This is actually very relaxing to do, especially if you're making this by hand. It feels like you're playing with the sand. This is a wonderful activity to do with kids. Gets them to be hands-on and creative and learn how to make things. That's exactly what we want. Little bits of butter in there. Put this back on my mixer, and we're gonna go with 1 egg at a time. Go in with a second one, and finally a third. Okay, scrape down the sides. Everything, including what's on the bottom, gets fully mixed in, and I'm just gonna prep ahead of time and do that before I anticipate this coming together. Okay, perfect. There's a little bit at the bottom. I'm just gonna fold that in on its own. Okay, so I'm just lining some plastic wrap. I'm gonna roll this out. Egg here helps give this its structure, and it also needs to rest for at least 3 hours. So we're just gonna work it a little bit, not too much. Loosely fold it. When we use the rolling pin now, we're gonna flatten this out, and that's just gonna be easier to roll out later on when we wanna get a shape, maybe closer to a circle. Now I'm gonna refrigerate this for at least 3 hours. We'll be back shortly.
All right guys, we're back. My chocolate short crust dough is ready. Second part is we're gonna roll it out, and we're gonna blind bake it or pre-bake it with some beans on top. After that, fully bake the tart. So a little bit of flour, flour your surface, flour at the top. And now we're gonna roll it out really thin. There's gonna be some extra pie dough left over. You can always keep that in the fridge, and it'll be good for about 3 or 4 days, or you could freeze it up to 6 months. Oven is ready. This gives me a reminder, you wanna make sure that you preheat the oven. We're gonna do it 350 degrees. When measuring and cutting the short crust chocolate pastry dough, I would either keep the pie pan right side up, or I would use a ruler so that it doesn't damage the dough. Go even inch border. And then anytime you have the leftover dough, you always wanna just knead it slightly back into a ball. I'm gonna quickly spray it. Don't spray the sides, just gonna spray the center. Get this in the center. You wanna keep the beautiful shape, just pressing it in. And I'm gonna take a pair of scissors and we're just gonna go around. I froze this for about 20 minutes and now I'm gonna par bake it with some beans. Make sure you have enough so that it keeps it heavy so that the pie dough stays flat and it doesn't rise. Now we're gonna bake this for 22 minutes in the oven and check on it soon. So I'm taking the beans and the foil off this. Now we're gonna finish baking this for about another 7 to 9 minutes. I'm going to pull out the tart now. This bubble right here is fine. It just means that a little bit of air got trapped underneath. Now we're gonna let this cool and chill for a little bit. The third step is we're gonna make the custard filling that's gonna have golden raisins in it. And then finally, once the pie dough is fully cooked and chilled, we're gonna add the golden raisin custard filling inside while it's in the oven. And then we're gonna bake that for another 40 minutes until it reaches a temperature of about 170 degrees Fahrenheit. So you're gonna know it's fully baked with either a thermometer, or you'll know that it starts to be fully set on the outside and it's slightly wobbly on the middle. So let's get going on the egg custard. On my stove, I'm going to add 1.5 cups of whole milk, 1 cup of heavy cream. So this is a base custard that you can use. You can use this to make creme brulee. You can use this to make other custards. So now we're just gonna warm up the cream and the milk together. You want to see some bubbles form around the sides. We just need the cream hot, but we don't want to burn it. So we're gonna add the salt to it, and also gonna add the golden raisins. So that's about 3/4 cup. Because I'm using brown sugar, we're gonna actually melt it in there with the cream. So the brown sugar, I think, is really gonna help give you that golden color. While that's working, separate the egg yolks from the whites. Now back to the pot of cream. After 5 or 10 minutes, the milk is now hot and you can see bubbles starting to form around the sides of the pot. Shut the heat off. My first wonderful warming spice is ground nutmeg. Add it. Next, add ground cinnamon and stir that. Finally, my signature spice, ground ginger, is going in. Just stir that. Now we're gonna add 1.25 teaspoons of vanilla extract. That's about 1.25 teaspoons. And that together. Smells wonderful. Okay, now we're gonna blend everything up, especially the golden raisins. We're gonna use everything and be very resourceful. Okay, the egg is going in. We're gonna temper in the cream, just a little bit at a time. Add all the golden raisins. Add the rest of the flavored cream in there. Now I'm gonna strain the custard. Everything looks good. All right, now I'm gonna pour the custard while it's still in the oven so we can get an even layer on there. Now I'm gonna add a baking safe Pyrex filled with water, and that's just gonna help this evenly cook. This is gonna cook for about 40 minutes, and we wanna look for a temperature that's at least 170 degrees Fahrenheit. For this custard recipe, I cooked it the second time at a lower temperature. So instead of 325 degrees Fahrenheit, I cooked it for 300 degrees. The total cooking time for this custard is closer to an hour. Okay guys, I can't wait. Pull it out. We're gonna let this rest now, and it's gotta chill in the fridge. once it's cooled down for at least 3 hours before we slice it. All right guys, I'm back. We are going to do my taste reaction of this custard tart with chocolate short crust dough. And now we're gonna finally cut a slice. I can't wait. Look at that beautiful custard tart. Now I'm gonna set that on my plate. All right, I'm gonna dig into this. I wish you guys can taste this. This looks so good. I can't wait. All right, come on. Wow, guys. That is a fantastic, delicious, and simple custard. There is so much flavor going on. I can't wait to describe it. I taste all the flavors, the warming spices, the cinnamon. It is so mouth-watering and flavorful. It's not too sugary. There's a perfect balance of caramelized custard flavor with the golden raisins. Adds a nice golden richness and flavor. And the chocolate is not overpowering at all. It gives this nice balance between the bites of creamy custard. Love for you guys to make this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, I have plenty of other recipes to give you. So we have a cinnamon apple tart tatin, wonderful, made from apple cider vinegar and the juices from the apple. Beautiful caramel sauce that melts beautifully. That will be on your right. And on your left, I have a spiced apple cake. It is simple. All my recipes are very simple and easy to make. Enjoy these 3 videos and look forward to the next one.